This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Nice, misty, actually coolish morning, and welcome to Djuma. Yeah, it's not very hot today. You're with me, Rowan. I'll be your guide for this morning. Behind the camera I've got Jason, and we are actually heading out to see if we can find Darkbane. So he was around this area last night, and I don't think he would have moved too far. He's still limping quite badly. I don't think that's ever going to fade anyway. But like I said, quite a nice, misty and cool morning. So guys, if you want to get hold of us, please comment or ask your questions, #WildEarth on Twitter. If you are under the age of 18, please don't hesitate to send us any questions at kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. Alternatively, head over to our website, hit subscribe, and then get a hold of us that way. We'd love to hear from you. Like I said, our plan this morning is just to actually start off in the mist. We can't really see too far, so start off where Darkbane was last seen yesterday afternoon, check if he's still around, and then maybe from there head over to Simambili and go see what's happening that side. To be honest, I think we can probably see about 40 meters off the road into the bush, and the grass is very long, so if he is lying down anywhere, hopefully we can see a tail swishing or an ear twitching, just any sort of movement we can find. Quite a nice blessing from yesterday's heat to have this bit of cold and mist. Let's keep going to Gallagher Pan and see if he's still around. We had a nice big visitor in camp last night, an elephant that came straight past our rooms, fed for a little while, and then luckily this morning when we all woke up, he left already. Riley, absolutely, there's Darkbane. He has not moved at all. What a very dramatic sky, and now to see a male lion in the mist, it's even more dramatic. So this is my first time I'm seeing Darkbane. Luckily he's awake, his head's up, didn't have to look for movement, he's in the short grass, so that comes in handy. I don't think he's too impressed with the weather. Shame his mane must be quite wet. Not that they'll get cold as humans cold. Wants to sleep a little bit longer. Eyes on then. I've also got BK on the vehicle with me, and BK, you were out with John T last night, so he was saying that it looked like he had a full belly, but of course because of his injury he'll always forever look skinny. I mean, you'll see his hip bone sticking out, so it'll be interesting. I hope he stands up. I just love to see his condition. It's always nice to drive out of camp, not even 5 minutes, and then boom, bumped into an animal. It's trying to shake off the mist. A big yawn coming. So in my experience, when they yawn and start grooming themselves, they often get up. I want to see if he does the same. It's amazing to sit here and just watch it, and the mist keeps rolling in thicker and thicker, and then lightens up a little bit, and then more thick. Funny, last night or even this morning, we didn't hear him roaring at all. I thought I heard like a faint contact call last night just before going to bed. So it might have been him, but no big roar. There we go, a bit of grooming going on. I absolutely love it when they do that. They lick their paws and then use that to groom their face. Basically like you wetting a cloth and then wiping your face. Waikisha saying it is so peaceful and foggy. Indeed it is. Not too many bird calls just yet because of this foggy condition, but very, very, very peaceful. I just want him to get up. I really want to see what shape he's in. As I've only heard stories about dark mane. It's nice that he's actually come to Djuma now. The last time I was here was about 2.5 weeks ago. And yeah, back then, he was mostly hanging around Pungwe camp. Of course, that's just north of us, north of where we are now. So we're going to sit here a while, at least 15-20 minutes or so, see if he stands up for us. But for now, we'll send you over to Rexon, who wants to say good morning to everyone.
Everyone, and welcome on Safari Live. A very beautiful foggy morning. We're lucky here to quarantine. We're starting our show here with the heart of Impala. Very difficult to see with this kind of a weather. It will be a little bit challenging, of course, for a morning. I really get more excited to check around and also joining WildEarth Safari Live for a morning. I would be looking for Kalamba. That is my plan for a morning. From myself, Rexon, and Echo behind the camera, we're really, really appreciating for everyone that join us for the morning. We'll really like comments and questions. We'll really appreciate it a lot. I've looked at the head of Impala here. It also showed a little bit of concern due to this foggy morning. It really even stopped them or to see around in the area in a better vision, because everything, it looked like clouded, and all the foggy is very thick. It's easy for lions, leopard, and other species to really get close to the impala and hunt them very easily. Don't forget, while we're still here at quarantine, it can be a lot of things that comes in particular cats in general, or predators. They like to come in open like this and hunt in the course of a morning. And it do give more ability or more extra mile for lions to and leopard, cheetah to hunt, because it's not that much cold. Let's see if we can find Kalamba cubs, Kalamba tracks, and follow up around the area. I'm looking forward to see Kalamba cubs and the mother. How big is the cubs at the moment? It's been a while for me, honest speaking, not seeing these cubs. I was really, really living at home really want to see Kalamba, so I'll put my effort to go and search for them around the area. I understand, I've been told quite a lot of change around in the area when it comes to line dynamics. When it comes to lions, there's a lot of change. Lots of lions have moved into the south of this property. I know that Talamati, they went down south. I was there 4 days back. The distance that they went is really far and in the southern direction. I believe they might settle around those areas due to the S8 mile and breakout of Talamati that now take over to the south. Let's see if we might be lucky. I'm heading down towards Freeman's Dip. This is an area where I believe Kalamba would like to come, because knowing the history of the area and all the den that Tandy used to den in the area while Kalamba still young, I don't see any reason why Kalamba she can go far to the east, where it's quite a lot of new males in the surrounding of Torchwood to the east, unless if the Mulawati male have really done well pushing all those young males away from the area, and as if the other males are really, you see, first day, yeah. Let me show you something here. Leopard cups, leopard tracks. This is Kalamba tracks, yeah. And look like on the ground, the cups also involved in the area. If I might have opportunity, you can see from the echo, this leopard tracks is very fresh. There's no doubt, around quarantine where we just come from now, we have to check very nicely there. Those impala that are standing, it might be a leopard around in that area. But it looked like I still have to investigate very well on the ground and check. It looked like there's also cups tracks that leading into the same direction, which means Kalamba, she's in the area. And I'm glad because my first day followed Kalamba and able to see. It will be nice for us, following this leopard. Let's get more details on the leopard itself. I just want to show on the ground. I'll be off from the vehicle and check nicely and know exactly what's going on.
Nothing beats sitting around a campfire at night whilst on safari, listening to the calls of the wild and chatting to your guide. If you sign up to be a WildEarth explorer, then you can enjoy this from the comfort of your home. Imagine hearing bush stories from your favorite WildEarth guide and reliving their highs and lows of a life spent in the wild. Every month, WildEarth explorers will be treated to an exclusive fireside chat, special occasions, hot topics, and deep dives into the WildEarth characters.
Everything else is just welling up inside of you, out in nature. Some people think I'm weird, but I have an absolute joy. I have a good time.
No, I enjoyed myself thoroughly today.
WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
It has been a wonderful privilege to identify one of our key characters here at Penguin Beach, Pepper, with a very, very distinct facial patterning, as the name would suggest, very peppered and speckled belly. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this penguin does over the next few days and months. Because of those unique markings, it's going to be really, really cool to watch it as it moves around the penguin colony here at Stony Point.
It's a legless skink, but I'm trying to identify this snake that's come out. Oh, No ways. It's decided to leave. Go off on the road, making way for it, and then we'll carry on.
Right, so Marips has found himself a puff adder that he's busy playing with, which is dangerous. I've seen leopards die from puff adder bites. I think he got hit on the paw. So he's obviously taken snakes on before. But at what cost, Marips?
Okay, so we're still sitting with Darkman. We actually moved a little bit closer, hoping that he would wake up. He yawned once, licked his paws a few more times, and then head down and falling asleep again. So maybe he just found his spot for the day. I reckon later on when the mist burns off, he'll probably just move to a more shady spot and then sleep it off. Yeah, shame. You can definitely see from this angle that his hip is not in a good condition, but when we were discussing it earlier, he's still a very large lion, big face, nice dark mane, I guess as the name suggests, big paws as well. I think if it wasn't for the limp, he would be quite a force to be reckoned with. Although even with the limp, I heard he's tried to take down like a young elephant by himself before, so I don't think he lets it hold him back too much. And earlier on, I was saying it's my first time seeing him, so I was actually lying a little bit. These, the vocal males actually came from just north of Ngala, so they spent quite a bit of time on Ngala. So I think I saw him about 6 or 7 years ago then, of course, and a lot younger. Not that much of a dark mane yet. We just called them sub-adults back then as they moved through. So his breathing has slowed down as well, so he's digested quite a bit of his food. It's good news. Hopefully start getting more active a little bit later. Although, I mean, I was just waiting for him to stand up, and I don't think he's going to do it anytime soon. So we'll eventually leave him rather sooner than later, and then carry on. We check 2 of our cut lines, and then go explore Simbambili, see what's happening on that side. Sandy, there he is in all his glory. Absolutely. I don't think you would be saying that if you're sitting here, Sandy. He lets off a fart every now and then, and it's just not a pleasure. Luckily, the breeze isn't... Oh, there's a bit of a breeze, so it just waves past. Jason, this is your first time seeing dark mane. Mm-hmm. Good. It is quite nice to just put a face to a name. I mean, often driving on other properties, you hear through WildEarth communications that they found dark mane, they found blondie, they found this character and that character. So I must say, quite a nice little surprise. And luckily he did not move at all from where he was yesterday. Yeah, the breathing has slowed down a lot. Very peaceful scene. Okay, we're going to leave him here and then carry on with our morning safari while we send you over to JP, who wants to say hi to everyone.
Good morning and welcome to Eco Training Pridelands. We decided we're going to start our morning at Leopard Koppie and look and listen to see what we can find over here. So far, we've heard a number of different birds that were calling, but throughout the night, we were also listening to the calls of both lion as well as leopard. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the cameras, we've got Morgan. So our plan for this morning is to start walking from here. And then as the morning progressively heats up, we'll most likely hop onto the vehicle and do a few vehicle segments and see if there's any visitors at the main dams. As the morning actually starts heating up and animals will start going for a drink. In the meanwhile, we're just going to do a silent segment and just share the beauty of the surrounding landscape with you. Good morning, Elizabeth, and welcome from both myself as well as Morgan. At the moment, I'm actually hearing a lion that's calling in the distance. I'm not sure if it will be able to be picked up on the microphone. I'm just going to be dead quiet. Hopefully we can get it. I think that's definitely where we're rather going to go and start following up this morning, is in that direction. As always, our plans come and go as we want, and naturally we always adapt them to what is happening at that moment. So for the next few minutes, I think we're going to hop into a vehicle and go and see if we can possibly find those lions. To start heading off and go and see what we can go and find. Let's go and say hello to Rexon.
Welcome back from JP, which is hearing audio for lions. Very exciting in the morning to hear lion audio. And JP look like it's gonna really work on that area. I'm still in the area of quarantine where the leopard tracks, the very fresh leopard tracks, it's heading. I believe that it might be heading towards the impala that we have just spotted earlier on. We have taken the western road of quarantine, which it looked like almost the area. If the leopard is in the middle of quarantine, if he head west, he's going to cross this road. If he decided to really move to the north, also he will cross Vietela axis. So there's no doubt this is the area that I would like, or road that I would like to check first and understand where the leopard might be. So we, on this road, there's no tracks. What I can see now here, look like 2 days, there was a line that walking here, heading in the same direction. But I'll go around and check. With this kind of weather, where it's very misty, of course, we might drive past the leopard very close, but I believe that we're going to work the area very well, then we can see this leopard. I heard from my colleague at the back that car rush has been more active in the area, but look at the size of that leopard tracks. For me, it looked like it could be Kalamba, unless if I've been wild for a while and get me confused if Tandish is back in the area, but I doubt. The size of the tracks, I've been following Kalamba for quite many years, since one is still young, and I believe that tracks is for Kalamba. She'll be more moving towards the dam and the drainage line. If the calves are back into the area or still around, more or less she would like to move where she will be safe for the youngster. Let us look at this road called Zawi Junction Vietela axis. The driveway to Vietela from the axis. There's no tracks here, of course. Anthony, if I get the name correct, sorry if I don't. tracking is not a problem, but to spot it will be a little bit problem. Tracking, it just shows that tracks is fresh. Even if it's misty, you can see. The only thing that will challenge you is to spot a leopard in this kind of a terrain. It's very misty, and the leopard is well blended into the color of the environment around the area. That well, from the south of quarantine, she went a little bit into a thicket and heading towards direct in quarantine. So what you do when you track, you don't follow a leopard behind. You have to check the roads that surround that block, then you're able to see if she's crossed or still in that particular area. That works quite a lot. Otherwise, you won't spend a lot of time. It will be easy for you to understand whether the leopard is out or still in. So at the moment, what you have done, we are more confident about the direction. Now we are checking the roads that surround the area. Quarantine is a little bit a big area. It's more open, as we all know that. So this kind of a weather, of course, a leopard can be somewhere here. You can drive like 20 meters away from the leopard, you won't see it. So we would like to see here, because we know Thandi or Kalamba quite a lot. She likes Galago Pan on that area to the north. If she is cross over, this will be the area where she will cross over into Galago Pan. So we'll use this road to check. We'll be here in the morning. I doubt that she has crossed in the area, unless if I haven't seen the tracks. I was not really focusing while it's still early. I didn't really think that there would be a leopard around in this area. But I'm coming back to the same area, check around, then we'll concentrate inside. That it's more easy to track a leopard in this kind of weather. It will be difficult for us to spot. And what makes me more confident tracking this leopard, of course, on tracking.
Good morning and welcome to And Beyond Ngala. So finally, we've had a bit of luck this morning. Just a little bit of loving. I think what we are hearing is the interaction between the herds when they meet.
Look how submissive that little one's being.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala.
Talk about a true definition of a golden sunset. That's what I think that is.
WildEarth has grown to know and love many unique wild animal characters over the years that we've been broadcasting live. Recently, we've launched a new initiative to sell non-fungible tokens of these animals to help conserve them. 40% of every NFT sold by WildEarth will be paid to the custodian of the habitat that each animal lives or lived on. To begin with, we have chosen 25 animals, 11 leopards, including Tingana and Hukumuri, 9 lions, including favorites from the Nkuma and Talamati prides, and 5 hyenas from the Djuma clan, including Ribbon. If you sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 15th of February, then you will be entered into a prize to win a box set, including 1 NFT on all 25 animals. Head over to our website to find out more. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
My favorite animal is a leopard, purely because I just think they are just the epitome of feline grace and power, and the way they can move about in any environment and remain hidden until they want to be seen, I just find incredibly intoxicating, and they're amazingly beautiful.
Catch up with the guides daily.
Good morning and welcome back to Pridelands, and for a moment we are looking at a number of baboons that are busy resting and looking around what's going on in the area. About a female is one that's sitting right here at the bottom, and if you ever wondered about social organization within baboons, we find that the group is actually dominated by males, and within the groups of males there's also an elite number of males which will be in charge of a group. There's no single leadership. You also don't have to be physically the strongest individual in that group to be the leader. You just have to have the right friends. We also find that all males will then dominate the females. We also find that females that are born to high-ranking females will enjoy a higher level of dominancy throughout their life. We also find that the young males that are born to them has a bigger chance of having access to a far greater amount of resources, and therefore be able to be slightly bigger and hopefully the big opportunity to actually also become a dominant male later in their life when they have to fight their way up. The female that we see over here, if she does turn around, you'll actually notice that it almost looks like scarring and swelling that's at the bottom of her backside, and that's actually due to chemical changes which happens when they go into estrus, and this acts as a sexual advertisement to the dominant males that will then be the ones that will mate with her. We also find that but the less dominant individuals are not allowed to show any form of interest into a female that's in estrus. However, if that female is out of estrus, those males are then allowed to mate with her. Well, let's see what our baboons get up to, and if there's any other viewers that do have any questions about baboons, they're actually more than welcome to ask us. Good morning, Sadie, and welcome to the show. Yes, I've seen vivid monkeys and baboons interacting in the past, but we also do know that they are so cautious of one another, as baboons have also been known to actually predate on vivid monkeys. And one of the interesting things that I've also noticed in the past was a single large vivid monkey male that got pushed out of its group, and it was actually associating with a group of baboons for roughly some 2 to 3 weeks. Thereafter, it seemed to have split it off and have done its own thing again. And the reason why it most likely stuck with them was purely safety in numbers. As is this of a risk that you were going to get caught by a predator than that if you were on your own. That's one of the interesting things that I do find about baboons as well as vivid monkeys. And that is that they will always stuff their cheeks full of food before they actually start eating. And this is just to ensure that if they get disturbed by a potential predator, that they can at least get away with a mouth full of food and then go and eat that on a later stage, instead of trying to eat 1 or 2 small little pieces. Good morning and welcome to the show. To answer your question there, what do they eat? Yes, they are omnivores, so therefore they eat everything. And I've seen them chewing bark off trees, eating a wide range of different fruit. And I've also even seen them killing impala lambs, scrub hares, and also scavenging once or twice off a carcass. As one of our baboons has just hopped back onto the branch. It seems as if he's got something that he was eating there and then put that into his mouth. Good morning, Willow, and welcome to the show. And with your question as how long do they stay with a mom? We see generally up to several months, and also when it comes to females, they will stay in the group for good. But what we also find is that for the first 6 weeks, they normally hang underneath the female's belly, and after that 6 weeks period, you'll actually start noticing them riding on top of a female's back. So they stay with mom for quite a while. It's also funny to watch them. A while ago, we were actually looking at a troop of baboons that got scared by something, and they all ran off, and this little baboon that was sitting on the back of the mother didn't hold on tight enough, and it actually fell off and rolled backwards, and she had to run back and quickly come and grab him, and then made off before that they could be further disturbed by the predator, whatever it was. I can't remember what the if it was a bird of prey or leopard that was disturbing them, but it was quite a funny sight to see. That's one of the other behaviors about baboons, which is also quite awkward, and that is actually when it does come to conflict management in a group, and you have an individual that is losing a fight who will actually grab one of the little ones, and they will keep that between themselves, and then the other male baboon, which they are losing the fight against, and very quickly the rest of the group will then come and assist to protect the little one, and then fight off the other male that was in conflict with one. We also find that quite often you'll notice that they will actually sit up in the trees and watch while the majority of them are feeding on the ground, and then some of them are actually on the security detail looking out for potential threats. I just love watching them in their natural environment. However, if you do see monkeys and baboons in urban environments, and they do go into houses, they can actually create a lot of mischief. And meanwhile, let's go and see what Rexon is up to.
Welcome back. We're still here at quarantine looking for these leopard, fresh leopard tracks, which it really tells me at the moment there's tracks that goes down, but there's a difference between the two tracks that I've seen in the area. Now at the moment, the tracks that goes down, it looks like it's not fresh. The tracks that came in the area, in particular towards this impala, it looked like it's very fresh tracks. So I believe that the leopard might be not far from the point. If that tracks that headed more to the east, if it's a correct one, we go in there and have a look, because some of the area, due to the mist, some of the area, of course, the ground is very wet. It shows the very freshness of the tracks. The one that headed more to the east, it looked like it's been there mainly last night. At night, that moving towards the east. By the look of the thing, look at the leopard, it's been hunting in the area, in and out for the whole night. In particular, maybe looking for the opportunity here at quarantine. But as I observed from this impala, it looked like they haven't engaged anything in danger. All of them are more relaxed. They're even coming close to the fallen trees. That shows that they haven't even smelled the danger in the area or spotted any cats around in the area. If do so, you'll find them start to move, maybe in the middle of the open spaces, then they can see better. Because leopard can use the fallen trees, of course, to hide until the impala gets close. We'll head more to the east, of course, towards Molowati riverbed. That can be very useful, because if it's Kalamba, thank you. Question from Valentina: how long it will stay misty? Valentina, I believe if the sun rises and around 7 somewhere there, start to be like burning out slowly but sure, unless if it will be overcast morning, then they can stay until around 7:30, 8 o'clock. It happened quite a lot in the area. Around that time, it start to burn out. But you can see a little bit better at the moment. When we started, it was very heavily. Now starting to be a little bit light in the area. We can see at least even impala that moves 50 meters away from us. Even our leopard is around 50 meters from us. We're able to see it's very, very important to really also, as I was speaking to my colleagues behind the vehicle, they'll check the trees, I'll check the ground where the tracks is heading in order to really benefit or spot this leopard. It was very, very foggy. You won't concentrate at the same time. Tree, roads, and to benefit to see all this, what might be going on here. So we'll carry on and leave this impala in peace and get to follow up the tracks of that it looked like it's for yesterday. If a leopard has been here, if it's a mother of the two cubs, she will be hunted and moving back into the youngster that where the moment they have moved into, maybe have moved into and those by around Gali Dam, opportunity for the tracks. Because the impala now and then they start to look more towards that where the first tracks come from. But I believe if it's a leopard, later on, if we come back.
Good morning and welcome back to Pridelands. We're just quickly making our way towards the general direction of where we heard those lions calling a little bit earlier and see if we can actually find them. At the same time, as I generally drive into a direction of where I have found things or heard things, I will also scan the road to see if there's any fresh track of that specific species that might guide us into the direction of where they are. It's always good to keep on scanning at a 45-degree angle and looking close by as well as in the distance while you are moving, and at the same time listening for anything that might give away that specific animal's position. And also a few little tricks I always use is that I learned to actually look through the vegetation instead of at the vegetation, because your brain is normally programmed to only focus onto the closest point, and then you tend to miss things that might be in the thicker bush. Also at this time of the morning, especially now that it's becoming cooler, we do know that animals will often lie up in the sun for quite a while to just warm up their bodies after a long cold night. But as it progressively becomes warmer throughout the morning, we'll also go and check for shaded spots to see where these animals might be, if there's anything lying up there. Well, then meanwhile, let's go and see what the rest of the team is up to.
At WildEarth, our explorers are treated to a weekly newsletter, bursting with fascinating features and never-seen-before snippets. Recently, we have added some brand new sections which we think you will love. Find out what happens behind the scenes with our crew when they are not live on WildEarth. Have a giggle at our moments of the week from both Safari and Penguin Beach. And Ranger Steph answers your questions with fascinating and in-depth explanations as to the whys and hows of nature.
20 yards away from one of the most endangered species.
All of this and more delivered to your inbox every week. So what are you waiting for? Head over to our website, sign up to be an explorer, and join the adventure. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. Wildlife trafficking remains a growing problem in South Africa, and often made worse by the way the media portray this complex issue. WESA, the Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, in partnership with WWF South Africa and supported by USAID, have recently embarked on a program whereby they train reporters to better tell stories of wildlife trafficking.
In my community, wildlife conservation is mostly something other people do, and I would like to change that. My name is Iman Singli. I told people I met that the pangolin is one of the most trafficked animals on the planet. But what is a pangolin, they said? Why is it in danger? This is what made me decide that the pangolin story must be told. If we are to play a part in preventing the extinction of this animal, then we must all be part of the battle.
A partnership between WWF South Africa and WESA, supported by USAID.
There is clearly something in the vicinity around you that's drawn their attention. Yes, that meerkat in the tree is just the coolest of cool meerkats. But watch how he battles when he comes down. That would be like me climbing a tree, just better.
So we are currently on Vuyatela access, heading back towards Gowrie Main, and yeah, earlier on we had tracks of our leopard that actually crossed out north, went into Buffelshoek. So yeah, now we are going towards Simambili, see if we can find anything there. There's a hyena on the road, right ahead of us, looks like it's sleeping. Actually, quite a few tracks of hyenas on the road as well. And early in the morning like this, so you know, would just be listening, sniffing, and just waiting. Also searching the same way we are for any signs of maybe a carcass. It would follow a leopard around, wait for wild dogs to come through, follow them around. Not saying it's not able to hunt itself, because they are phenomenal hunters. It's just that in these areas there are more lions, more leopards, more wild dogs, so why waste the energy on hunting when you can just scavenge? They're saying that takes a lot of energy to scavenge as well, especially if you want to try to scavenge from lions and wild dogs. But hyenas don't really shy away from conflict. It was sitting in a very awkward position. And there we go. Into the grass. Although it was staring in that direction majority of the time, so it would only make sense for it to go to the right. It's taking a long time for this mist to clear up. There we go. There's the hyena still. Actually see it's been sitting here on the road for quite some time. You can just see by the track. But Natalia, so even if you just look at the picture of the hyena and the wetness on the grass, so for any of the herbivores, any of the grazers or browsers, they can actually get a lot of moisture from the grass that they're eating. For the carnivores, especially animals that are more active at night time, you know, it gets so hot during the day that they don't want to expend too much energy throughout the heat. So now they'll be a bit more active later on. So it's good news for us as well. Like you, in very, very hot weather, you get tired, you get lethargic. The same thing happens with them, except that they are completely covered in fur. Actually even worse for them. I know what this hyena has gone slowly to the left. It's just not popped out from the other side of this bush. Quite a prominent game path it was on. I just can't see it now, can't even hear it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's sniffing us. Wide awake though, completely aware of what's around it. Last time I was here, what was I looking at? Looking at tracks of a leopard and actually walking. And as I was walking, there was a hyena walking from the other side, and we came around a bend, happened upon each other, and I can't believe how far this hyena jumped just to get away from me. It gave me a big fright. As I'd be honest, I jumped a little bit as well. So I continue slowly checking. Let's have a good look at the tree. Does seem to be sniffing something in the area, just not too sure what. Because we can't really see too much in the grass here, it's just too long. Yeah, this hyena came from this side, trucks go back that way. Bailey, isn't it just too cool, eh? So do I. I quite enjoy misty mornings. Of course, it is cold, but it just gives a completely different feel to this sort of thing. Especially in Maine. Weather like this. Actually, anything. Bailey, you're right. Any animal in the mist, it's amazing. So we need to find Jason a nice marula fruit as well, because he's never had marula fruit. So we'll be also on the lookout for that. Any nice and yellow ones.
Welcome back, guys. We managed to follow a leopard and line tracks, which we managed to find duckmen almost same spot. Would like to apologize for the technical problem that you're experiencing. We are back now live here with this dark man. It's lying down. It looked like really prefer the spot. It could be safety and more open. It do make sense. If I get the information how yesterday gets into the point, it come from all the way from the gate all the way down here and settling the area. We were busy following leopard tracks. He looked like he was behind the same leopard that we really following. Oh no, it's not dark mane, this one. I doubt. If you look at by the thing, it could be the brothers of dark mane, but it could be him. This, yeah, he's him. I can see the right feet. Really, he's been involved in a fight. If you look at the hole right on the left top ear, on right from the head, forehead, that really tells that he was on the fight. It could be S8 male that really give him a little bit of a hard time as normal. It's really the right time for the change of the pride in the area. Each and every dominant male or dominant pride that will take over from the females, it's really estimated around from 1 up to 4 to 5 years is common. Then you can see the change. So he might be fighting with the other male called S8. Most of the time is down to the north. And really, as the females now are entering to estrus, it's a high demand for all these males to challenge one another and fight in the area. It's in their nature. Survival of the fittest. If you're not fit, you're easily kicked out by the strongest male that will get in. Dark mane, of course, if he doesn't really go back into the two brothers, his life is really in threat. He will get killed easily. If two males get into the area, you cannot fight 2 against 1. That is more difficult. And in nature of the lions, of course, if they take over from you as a new blood, normally they kick you out or they kill you because you are the threat of the new generation that might be really into the area. If a male met with a female and have cubs, it will become a more threat to the cubs. So lions, leopards, all the species that are territorial, they easily kill one another in competition of the female. It's real. I mean, no woman, no cry. It's all about that. When it comes to lions, leopard, they really fight quite a lot. We have a right to mate. The strongest one has a right to mate and kick the other one or kill the other one, as I mentioned earlier on. What I like with dark mane, he always concentrates in the same spot. He doesn't move quite a lot. He was down into Manuality. He might be preferring one spot when it comes to safety. If S-male move into that particular area, he'll move into Djuma property. If S-male come to the point, he'll go down back to the west. As the sub-owl that now have heard that they've moved to the south, it might be the right time for the sub-owl that's reaching the sexual maturity. It could be the females or the young males. It's now time for them to separate themselves away from the family. If a young male, if a female, it's now time for them to look for a new blood. Lily, thank you for your question. You want to know why the mane is so dark. In most cases, if you read the information, the dark male, it might be represent the strongest of the male. In genetic, he is the one of the richest male when it comes to genetic and more alpha and stronger, that it becomes more dark. That's raising females, they prefer a very dark male, knowing that his gene pool is very strong. Physically, he's strong and healthy. That's the reason you have dark mane. That is one of the reasons. Of course, when you look at the lions in particular, even in the pride, the male that is most dark looking, if there's a population of males, if the one that is more dark looking is the one that really female prefer the most, knowing that is carrying healthy gene. So it's how actually when you read the book, it tells you that. Although when you look at the males, if they're all like in correlation of 4, it's like a wheel spin when it comes to who is the strongest. Today is this one, tomorrow it could be another one. But preferable, the dark one is the one that the female really prefer to mate with him because it's carrying a very healthy gene. You cannot debate on that. It's been in a rock out everywhere and everyone knows that. So really coming back to the rest of the pride of Telamati is very interesting, as the young females that are fathered by the particular male in front of us, they've moved completely out in the area, doing their own thing, and the father cannot follow those young males or young females. Where they went down south, it might have challenges, but just because of the female, they're now entering to estrus. There's a challenge, of course, in life when the males get to find a female that really in estrus, they will be actually interested on mating. Young males completely, they're gonna move out of that particular area and go and do their own thing. You'll never know whether they will come back or stay on that area. It's now for the young males to trouble other pride, of course, as the father is now getting trouble by the new male called S8 in the area. It's in the nature. The blood has to change all the time. If dark men lose, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the life. It can move into other areas. I've seen males before, even in the old age like dark men, you can get maybe to the west or east or north. You might still have an opportunity to join the young males that might be really looking for collation and join with them and join forces.
The best find of today. The shoe. Doesn't look rather comfortable, but we see you. Isn't this gorgeous? Are you just sunbathing, chilling, living the chill life? This is obviously a rock monitor. We definitely see the water monitors or the Nile monitors a lot more than we see the rock. But you can see this is where they hide. in little holes and crevices in trees, and then they just pop themselves out to sunbathe. You look very relaxed up there. I'm rather jealous. So stunning. Now, they are actually incredible swimmers, the rocks. They're just not as... Sorry, this is a beautiful shot of the Ellie. We're also surrounded by Ellies. I don't know. Oh, this is also magical. I don't know what to talk about. These are the Ellies that popped up from the drainage. I thought I would be able to get them. Hello. Buffalo thorn delish. The thorns and the hooks clearly don't put you off. The leaves are very nutritious. Even for humans. Sometimes I snack on them in camp when I'm walking by. Yeah, I can see why you like them. I tried to fry them up one time. There's a delicacy in the Maldives called telefai, and they use leaves of a specific tree, very small leaves, and they dry them out in the sun, then they fry them in garlic, lemon, and salt and oil, and they're the best things in the world. I introduced Davi to them, and okay, someone's taking a tantrum. Anyway, I thought maybe I could do the same with buffalo thorn, but it didn't work. Everybody around the table, James Henry pretended to like them, but no, I know they were lying. Might get a two-shot here, Odie. If the Ellie doesn't scare away our little lizard. There you go, there's a lizard. Look at the claws. I've got the two of them together. It's coming very close to the car now to get the vegetation.
Good morning and welcome to And Beyond Ngala. So finally, we've had a bit of luck this morning. Just a little bit of loving. I think what we are hearing is the interaction between the herds when they meet.
Look how submissive that little one's being.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala.
Talk about a true definition of a golden sunset. That's what I think that is.
Stanley is such an awesome African penguin, and personally, my favorite. I love Stanley because of that amazing plumage variation, that beautiful broad black breastband with the cutest little white heart directly in the middle. And Stanley plays hard to get, but we are so happy to have him down here at Stony Point and can't wait to share Stanley's life with you.
Guys, just watch what's happening. See, watch the elephants, watch the lions. See, the first ones to run are the cubs. Can you see them? They are right here. I'm not sure how scared you were, but I was quite nervous. But absolutely incredible.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
It's a huge privilege to be in these incredible places with these amazing animals. I love filming lions. When they do get up and do something, it's always spectacular. When they are playing, are incredibly fun to watch, especially subalterns and cubs. I love being in the bush and working in these incredible places with these amazing animals.
We want to bring it to you so that you can almost feel like you're right there and be able to.
Very dramatic. No, not at all, Susan. Not at all. You have no need to. It's not anything that elephants need to pay attention to. Owen, 12 o'clock. Hello. I've got an itchy leg. Beautiful girl. I can see you having a sniff of us. You're not very subtle, but that's okay. I hope I don't smell bad. But Susan, not at all. He's watching them. But they don't have to bother with his presence at all. They're all coming here. There's obviously some delicious grass. Underneath this quarry. Are you smelling us and you think that we can't see you because we can? Look at those nostrils. That's incredible. They're huge. Okay, that was just a chance to come and smell us. It was fake, pretending I'm going to eat. I'm going to hide behind this quarry. They won't see me, and I'm going to smell them. We've got more coming. We've got a nice calf and mother in front. 12 o'clock. We've got some more coming. A young boy approaching from the right. Here we go, here we go. Hello, boy. Marianne, you're saying... Did you get that, Owen?
Sweet elephant.
What sweet elephants. Very sweet. This is actually one of the nicest elephant sightings I've actually had in a while. They're just so relaxed. Been in the drainage, eating all the delicious food. Our monitor lizard's fallen asleep. We'll show you him in just a moment because the elephants are going to disappear. This is pretty special. And we spotted this herd solely based on vegetation moving. We didn't actually see an elephant for a while. We just saw the trees going boing, 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 boing. course, the best views of the Ellie's gone. But Mr. Rock Monitor is still here. Did you enjoy that? I did. It's so cute, you know, you wouldn't think that reptiles would be cute, but they absolutely are. What an absolutely wonderful sighting that was.
Do you dream of traveling to a far-flung wilderness location where life continues as normal? A place where you can escape to nature and breathe. If you become a WildEarth explorer, then this could soon become a reality. Subscribe today and stand a chance to win regular travel prizes. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
I was so excited to come across DJ, or Demi James, Demi meaning half, and that refers to DJ's incomplete upper breastband. And what is so cool is that DJ has been building a nest, and we have also seen DJ hanging out with a partner. I cannot wait to see how the breeding season goes and bring you all the action from Penguin Beach.
Guys, have a look at what we've got. This is better than my birthday. Look at that. This is the first time that I ever see cubs this small. This is so special. This has officially just become my best sighting of all times.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
I've been a guide for just over 20 years. Started my career in the Lowveld of South Africa, and it's become full circle, and I'm back here today, and I'm extremely grateful for that. My favorite animal is hands down elephants. I'm a family man, and the way the family is structured in elephants, it resonates with me, and therefore I've chosen elephants. My favorite activity out in the bush is to track big game. It gives you the opportunity to learn about their behavior in much more depth than just observing them. My favorite sighting at WildEarth was where the Talamati Pride was trying to hunt buffalo in this beautiful, misty, foggy morning. The whole setting was just so surreal, and it intensified, culminating in a near successful hunt. One of the main reasons I became a guide in the first place is to share this wonder with people, and now I get to do it with a much wider audience.
Well, that's pretty cool. There's a genet that's been watching Shasha all along, just on top there of that other really thin marilla tree. Huh. Well, that's quite unusual. The last sighting I had of a genet in a leopard was actually Tristan and I went to Londolozi not long ago, maybe about a month ago. And with the guide that was doing the transfer for us, like a really cool guide called Kirsten, we saw this genet on top of a very thin branch of a tree, and we're like, no, there's no reason why a genet would be up there for no reason. And then we started scanning, and at the bottom of the tree, then we saw hidden in the rocks was a leopard cub. And then the genet was on the top of the tree, there was a kill in the tree, and then the leopard at the bottom. It was quite something. So I wonder what has actually happened. I don't know if there's a hole in that tree, and that's where the genet's been coming out from, because it seems to be pretty perched in there. Let me just switch this radio off a little bit. But it's a very cool sighting. Oh, what an extra surprise. I don't think this genet knows what to do. Oh, little genet, how did you get yourself up there? Genets can be active during the day, but they're mainly animals that are crepuscular or nocturnal. They move around in lower light conditions, and that's when we tend to see a lot of them. But they can, as we know, they can move sometimes during the day, and today is a pretty dark day. I mean, it's been strange weather, so perhaps it was busy out and about looking for food, and then, I don't know, maybe he bumped into Shasha, and he was like, nope. Went up the tree to try and stay away from it. It seems like an older genet as well. Almost looks like a little bit of a Yoda because it's got a broken ear. Oh, you poor genet. How stressful it must be to be you. Hyena, I agree with you. The sighting keeps getting better and better. It's unbelievable that they... This is one of the best views of a genet that I've had in a very long time. Although I must say, I had a very cool sighting with Darren on my previous stint of Shasha actually hunting a genet. So I don't know if there's a theme here, if this leopard likes eating genets. Maybe he chased that genet up a tree before he got the impala. I mean, there are a couple of possibilities. Because this is, yeah, like I said, this is the second time that I've seen Shasha close to a genet, or, well, we don't know if they were involved. The genet definitely knows that the leopard is here, but I don't think Shasha knows that the genet is there, or if he does know, doesn't seem particularly fazed by his presence or anything like it. He's not even looking in that direction. Yeah, Shasha is still there, but I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat, but we get to see way more leopards than what we get to see genets like this out in the open, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I thought maybe there was a hole in there where the genet is, but I don't know if it had some sort of altercation with Shasha and that's why it went up the tree, or if maybe it was moving around here and then saw that Shasha was around and then just decided to go up the tree just to stay away. It obviously knows that there is a leopard there, and it's just looking very alert, and it's looking past us. We're not blocking the view or anything, and Josh is still by the base of the termite mound, just chilling down there. He's looking very hot, and then I think this is a large spotted genet because it's got a tip of a blacktail. We get two similar species here, one slightly larger than the other one. The small spotted genet and then the large spotted genet. So the only reason we could actually see it is because we saw the tail hanging, and as we picked up binoculars, Aubrey turned around, and Aubrey's one of the guys at Djuma, and he was like, did you see the genet? We're like, oh goodness, it is. So they are quite arboreal creatures. They do live in holes, or they can go into holes in the trees, and that's where they spend the night, or when they go and rest, and then they spend the day there as well. But we don't really see them this well. It's not a common sight at all. It's more common during the night when you go around with the spotlight and then you see them, but it's actually a very special sighting, what we're witnessing now. Like I said, probably an older individual. It seems like it's missing half an ear, or, well, not missing, but it's been split, so I wonder if it's run to Shasha before, or ran into Shasha before. Maybe it's just looking to go down there. It is facing the bottom part, so I don't know, maybe he wants to go down there. Oh, let me just turn the radio down a little bit. Pretty epic. What a good sighting. Hey. That's so cool. And then the fact that it's so chilled, and Josh is he's still resting, so I know we want to see the leopard, but let's see what the genet does, because the leopard will very likely just move back to the kill. I want to see if maybe the genet will go further up, or if it will actually just come down and then run somewhere else. And then, of course, if it comes down, we're not going to follow it. I don't think It'll be a very small creature to follow out in the bush. It'll likely run into another tree, and we won't be able to see it. Also, we don't want to get in the way if there's a little genet running away from a potential predator such as a leopard. I don't think Shasha would be interested in the genet, though. Not today. Maybe another day that he's hungry, but today he's got a big kill there that he doesn't need to worry about. Ooh.
I found my waterhole for the afternoon. The twin of twin dams, Lawrence Pan. And look how sweet is this. This is something you don't actually often see, a tortoise drinking. A leopard tortoise. You don't often see that. You see them on the road scuttling away, moving away. It's quite rare to get amazing visuals. And this one's actually drinking. Oh, that's so sweet. I don't know why it's sweet, to be honest, but it is. Completely replenishing its water levels. Not only will it sort of be going in. What is wrong with you guys? Not only will the water sort of go into the stomach, it will also drink extra water for that bursa sac of theirs and fill it up. And that's a wonderful thing about summer, if you really do have to move an animal like this, because you shouldn't pick them up. But if it's in the middle of a main road, of course, everyone's going to want to pick them up and just move them off the road, because any injury that's going to happen is going to be human-caused. But because there is so much water around, you don't have to worry about them dehydrating. This is so lovely. I don't know if I've ever seen one drink like this before. Linda, you're saying first time for you, and it's adorable. Agreed. I also think it's the first time for me. We see them, but I've never seen one sort of in this position having a really good drink. Now I'm feeling thirsty. Reptiles do need water, of course. They have a completely different biology, but they do need water. Every organism, one way or another, needs water. I can't believe this panda has water. I'm overjoyed. We're going to spend a little bit of time here. I'm going to try and do some dragonflies, listen to bird calls. I mean, it's not quite the pan that it will become, but I've spent many, many hours here. It's brought me lots of happiness. It's a wonderful place for birds, for the weavers, for insects, and clearly for tortoises. Oh, he's moving. He's on the move. Highly mobile animal. Looks so heavy. Oh. Are we eating now? Remarkable. We've had a little drink and now it's time to eat. Gary, you were saying this is amazing to see this in the wild and live. It is. It's not all about the big things. It's not all about the cats. This is so cool. We do see leopard tortoises around, but normally when they hear the vehicle, they sort of hide, and the views are never this good. I don't think it fully realizes that we are maybe here. Eating all the delicious grass.
We're just quickly looking at tracks. I don't know, Odie, if you can run that up, because you can actually see.
When on safari, there's nothing better than an evening spent under the stars chatting around a fire, with the sounds of the wild all around you. If you sign up to be a WildEarth explorer, you can build your own memories by joining our guides for regular fireside chats. Subscription payments can be made by PayPal, credit card, and now bank transfer. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Identifying individual African penguins can be extremely challenging because at first glance, they all look the same. Identifying Duo, an African penguin with a double breastband, was extremely exciting for me. Less than 5% of the African penguin population has this unique variation in plumage. And I can't wait to share Duo's life with everyone on WildEarth.
This warthog is in big trouble. He's got elephants all around. What are you going to do there, big guy? What are you going to do? Oh, he's pretty brave though. Oh man, he's not even moving. Look, that elephant is trying his best, but that warthog ain't budging. That's madness. That's so funny. And we have a winner. The warthog wins the standoff.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Funniest question I've been asked. There have been so many. You can almost do a little anecdote book just on guest questions. Sort of been asked to know which trees do elephants roost in. That's a tough question to answer with a straight face. Someone asked me if a windsock was for feeding giraffes.
My name is David, and I love being a cam op because you get a front row seat to all the best sightings that WildEarth has to offer. Sharing it with everyone else, well, that's a perk too. What makes the WildEarth experience magical? Well, it has to be the fact that it's live and interactive. The sighting that'll be ingrained in my brain for life, watching a lioness kill 3 wildebeest during the migration in the space of about 20 minutes. My spirit animal, that has to be a...
She's definitely fascinated. She's intrigued by something here. Oh, now we've got more vultures. She's definitely listening to whatever's happening in the drainage line. I think with the amount of hyena activity we've had, maybe she managed to kill something in the drainage line. The hyenas managed to steal it. And now we are able to sit here and watch her as she's analyzing what's happening. Just a reminder, everybody, this beautiful girl, Kalamba, is part of the Genesis collection. So if you want to find out more, you can head over to the WildEarth website and look for the NFTs tab. I think she is the prettiest. Not quite as pretty as Kachava maybe, but so beautiful. I feel like Kalamba has a different type of beauty around her. She's such a big female, and she's the perfect combination of muscle and grace. Isn't she lovely? Oh, you can see that whitetail from here. She is looking for everything and anything this morning, and she is being distracted by all of the noises, and this is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's for a leopard, it's part of the reason why they are so successful, because they pay so much attention to the smaller details, all the small movements, all the small noises, all the smells. All of the predators will do it, but leopards in particular, because they're on their own, they know they can't rely on anyone else, and so from a very young age, they get used to listening to absolutely everything around them. And so it's lovely to see her being so attentive and so careful about what she's listening to. She's pausing very regularly. And you can hear there's a bird alarm calling at her, so that got her tail going, and straight away, look at that change in behavior. The tail is up instead of down because of the alarm calling. So she's saying, all right, I know you've seen me, I'm moving, I'm not staying here, I'm not hunting. And this is giving animals the opportunity to see her approaching so that she can avoid any situation where she might accidentally get injured. You definitely don't want to be mobbed by a herd of elephants or something. So if there's alarm calling and she can raise her tail, everything can see her from a distance, and there's no need to accidentally surprise someone. That being said, I think if she surprised a scrub hare right now, she'd probably go for it. She does look like she's eaten a little bit. Her stomach is not flat, but it is more difficult to tell because of the way her mammary glands are hanging. Her stomach hangs a bit lower naturally now from the cubs. But she definitely could eat again, I think. That bird is still alarm calling behind us. It's one of the cisticolas. Now you can see she's dropped her tail again, so this is conveying I'm far enough away from the alarm call. Oh, Nicanova, that would be wonderful. She's going to scent mark. It would be wonderful to meet Kuchava's cub. Oh, she didn't scent mark. Wow. Throwing me under the bus there. Yes, it would be so lovely to meet Kuchava's cub before I go. I'm very happy that I've gotten to meet Kalamba's cubs at least. I'd love to see them again, but I think any chance you get to meet a new leopard and spend some time with it, not much compares in this world to that feeling. Because it really is an honor to be able to spend time with a leopard like this. You know, leopards are very secretive, they're very quiet in their movements, and so if they don't want to be seen like the last few days, they won't be. They absolutely will not be seen if they don't want to be. So for her to be out in the open, allowing us to follow, is just, it's an absolute gift. This makes every day worth it. So the direction she's moving in, if she heads up to the right, she will still end up back at quarantine. If she goes left, she'll end up in the drainage line that's fed by Voyatella Dam. So it'll be interesting to see where she decides to go. If she keeps going straight down on this road, she's going to end up near Ribbon's Den site at Twin Dams. Don't know if she'll go that far though. I love it when she sits and listens. That's when she's really intent. She's focused. So she's listening back up towards quarantine again. So remember where we are. She wants to make sure there's nothing coming up from the drainage line, but also no disturbing sounds coming from quarantine, because the surrounding drainage lines around quarantine is where we think the cubs are still hidden. We haven't seen tracks of the cubs anywhere other than going into the one drainage line. We haven't seen them coming out, but Rexon found Kalamba's tracks on her own this morning, which means she's hidden the cubs somewhere. And with all the hyenas around, I think her kill was stolen, so she needs to find some more food. And that's probably why she's out on her own. And taking the chance, even though she's in the open like this, for any leopard, taking the chance to sit and listen is a really good combination of things. It's giving her information on who's around. It's It's also giving her information on potential hunting sites, potential prey around the area, and potential threats. So she's doing a combination of everything. She's the ultimate multitasker right now because she's even grooming while she's listening. She's also going to be smelling while she's grooming, so she can pick up on all of these different things. Incredible senses, very, very heightened senses. Yeah, she keeps looking over towards the drainage line in particular. I think her kill must have been in there somewhere. To me, she's always had such bold geometric rosettes compared to the other leopards. Yes, they all have rosettes, but hers just seem to be very bold in terms of they're very thick, very close together. It looks like she's been designed by a perfect architect. I'd love to know what she's thinking at the moment. She's definitely hearing something that we can't. Maybe some movement in the drainage line if the hyenas have finished the carcass and they're moving up and down. She might be hearing that movement. Can you get any more beautiful? Veronique, we are also very happy to see her, and I'm glad that it has brought you joy seeing her this morning. It is always such a treat when you've been tracking her and you know she's in the area and you've been tracking for a few days, and then you get to see her and it just kind of reaffirms what you know about the bush, but also it reaffirms the condition she's in, and we get to have a little bit of a bonding moment with her and see what is happening in her life. It's a nice little window into the life of a leopard. Let's see if I can move. She's actually headed towards the drainage line. Unexpected twist. I was expecting her to go more towards quarantine. But I can see why she would choose this. There's a nice termite mound and some dead trees. And so I'm going to see if I can follow her towards the drainage line, see what we can find in there with her. Miss Kalamba is now headed straight down towards the drainage line. She's paused again to have a listen. And her tail keeps moving ever so slightly right on the tip. And I think she might be assessing whether it's safe to go into the drainage line, but at the same time whether there's any potential food down here. As you can see, she's using this long grass to her advantage. And just giving it a little evaluation while she's here. So the only thing I've seen so far moving on the other side of her has been a Swainson's spurfowl. Oh, she must have a fly bothering her. I haven't seen anything else, but this is a perfect area for duiker. Morgan and Frankie, you are 11 and 7. Thank you so much for your question. Kalamba's cubs are just about 3 months old now, we think, about 12 weeks. So they're still very young and very cute and very small. And we don't know yet who they will grow up to be, but we can already see some nice personality traits coming through. And hopefully, well, it seems like one is like mom and one is like dad, actually. One cub seems to be a bit more like Kalamba, a bit adventurous, outgoing. The other one, maybe a little bit more like Mulwati, a little bit more shy. So it seems like a pretty good split of leopard personalities at this stage. But I hope we can find them for you sometime soon in the next few days. And I feel like we have definitely got very lucky this morning to have ended with such a gorgeous girl. I'd love to know where she's going from here. Maybe there's a duiker she can hear somewhere. Oh my goodness, how perfect is she? Look at those ears in the grass. Everyone, I am so happy that you could join us this morning, that we could share Kalamba with you and all of the little odds and ends, the shongololos and the birds. It's been an absolutely wonderful morning, and hopefully we'll be able to find her around here again this afternoon. At least we know where to start now. And we're definitely looking forward to having you with us for our safari this afternoon. Hopefully we can end with some more spots like we did this morning. How exciting. Perfect way to end our morning with you. Thanks everyone.
Okay, so we found a giraffe. Big male. They're quite nice just to sit here, and also you'll be able to hear the tail swishing every night.
A good morning and welcome to and beyond Ngala. So finally, we've had a bit of luck this morning. Just a little bit of loving. And I think what we are hearing is the interaction between the herds when they meet.
Look how submissive that little one's being.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala.
Talk about a true definition of a golden sunset. That's what I think that is.
It feels amazing. So nice to see the people and interacting with everything, how it works with the cameras and switching with the vehicles. I like it very much. It's very good. I decided to take a ticket to Dream. I'm a founder member, so the first time WildEarth needs some help, I did it too. And I think it's a nice thing to help them, that they can broadcast every day here. My favorite part about today is to see Ribbon. I was surprised she was there. A pied kingfisher, I was looking for them the whole time. And the drive to the Milwaukee, it was awesome. My favorite part of WildEarth is the connecting people with the wildlife. I look every day, most 2 times, and you really get part of a family here. That's like very much.
This is incredible. Looks like vivid monkeys do sometimes go for swims. I heard something splash, but we couldn't see what it was in the long grass. Now I just saw that thing swimming there. This is incredible. I hope it gets to the bank. There are crocodiles in this dam. And it looks like, you see that monkey climb up into the tree? Wow.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
I can only see what the infrared sees. It's going to be tough. But let's do it, guys. Hello. How are we all? May I ask where you have all been? Okay, let's try and zoom in nicely on them, Darren, and try and get some IDs. Oh, tail up. Look at that. Is that corks? And she's like a supermodel wading through this. Oh, no, we're just going... Okay. Going for a swim. Nighttime swim. Jolly good. Can we zoom in any more here, Darren? I know it's tricky. Yeah, so this is corks. Okay, next one. Heart. Okay, there's a third one coming. Oh, yeah. An excitable one. This is fascinating that it's corks and heart again, I must say. They are really, really up to no good. Oh, we're peeing in the water. How wonderful. We've got some sub-arrows here. Can we just maybe zoom into this one, Darren? I think that's Gingy. That's Gingirika. Okay, so we've got hard corky Gingy, and then let's try and get one of the other ones. Oh. Okay, that's...
Another one to our...
Yeah, let's... Oh, tail up, tail up. What's happening here? Darren, let's just quickly zoom in on this one before we lose it. Comet! Yo! I'm going to guess the other one's Novella, the other sub-adult, but that's the one I'm unsure about. Okay, they are all moving. I've got a hyena in front of my car, but once it moves, we're going to follow. Corky's up to no good. The den was inactive, by the way. And we are at Twin Dams. Come on, little one. Oh, leopard lover, you are far too sweet, and thank you. It took a lot of patience, shall we say. And leopard lover, you know what I'm talking about when I say most of my hair is still in place. There's something key about this Twin Dam area, and look at this one. And it's something, I don't know if it's because Ribbon's Den was in this area, but let's follow. We'll turn that light down just a bit so I can reverse. I can't reverse when that light is on. That only took me, what, 3.5 hours? Yes. I can see a hyena here. I can see one up ahead. I want to find corks. The comms broke up there, so it didn't get the name, but I do agree with you. I absolutely think that plans are being made 100%. And I didn't. That first day when I first saw Corky, I thought, oh, okay, she's sleeping. She's injured. Okay. Do you know they're almost at the dam. What is going on? You guys are stressing me out. I'm so glad I found them, and it's interesting dynamics. I I'm just going to turn this light off. I know it's going to make me really dark. I realize that, but it's hindering my vision. I just want to make sure I get this right. Okay, here you go, Darren. Work your magic. They're about 50 meters away from the den that we know of. Look at this greeting ceremony. I'm just going to let you guys watch. Observation at this stage is going to be crucial. And it is hard in infrared. Now this is quite naughty of Comet, because Comet was very close to Ribbon, following Ribbon's every move. It's even thought that Comet's the potential father. Look at that tail. Yeah, we're dealing with something way bigger than I originally thought. They're walking to the den. Yeah, they're walking to the den. That's the path to the den. Okay, guys, we need to follow. I just need to make sure we're not... Let's follow, Darren. I know I'm in the dark. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to use my eyes rather than putting artificial lights on them at the moment. I've still got a little bit of vision. I eat a lot of carrots. Yeah, this is the den, guys. This is the den. You can smell them. You smell them, Darren? I love that smell. This is literally the den. I can't explain it at this stage, but they are on this road now. I'm going to stop. And right behind them is a termite mound where technically Ribbon's cubs should be. They're in this exact area. Why? I'm going to just keep up with them. I want to see what they do when they get to the termite mound. Unicorn, mine too. They're literally at the den. And I just don't entirely understand why. They're here for a reason. Smelling, assessing. I think they're looking for Ribbon. They've left the den. I'm just going to go forward a little bit. This is a den on my right-hand side. Here's a hyena. So they've left the den, they've walked in a sort of opposite direction. But they're looking for her. They're looking for Ribbon. Okay, I'm going to follow a little bit because it's a game path, sort of animal path that we can get through. Corky brought them here for a reason. She's smelling for fresh scent. This is not good. I've been staying very positive and trying to avoid speculation because really you don't want to get hooped up, pardon the pun, and another insect for dinner. In speculation, when you need to observe, you really need to observe. We've just stopped off at Gairida.
Peaceful surroundings, the nature. It's not something I can get in my homeland, so it's wonderful to be able to be live, you know, with you guys and feel like you're actually there.
If you want to go on safari with a WildEarth guide whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
With wild dogs, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. We don't always get to see those, so that's just been amazing.
Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could be making your first ever on-screen appearance.
I wanted to be part of the support of WildEarth. It brings so much to everybody, and everything has brought so much to me, especially, you know, got me through some difficult times myself. I found WildEarth shortly before I was going to go through some things in my own personal life, and it's what got me through, and I know that's a story for many, many, many people, so it's important to me to provide support to that.
Our bodies are made up of about 60% water, which means that in a very short space of time, you can dehydrate completely. A relatively efficient way of collecting water early in the morning is to take an absorbent material like a sock and to walk through the grass, absorbing the condensed dewdrops on the grass. Once the material is saturated, you can then squeeze it out into a container, or you can suck it out directly into your mouth.
Hi, I'm Mike Anderson, and I come to you live every day from Eco Training Pridelands Conservancy in South Africa. The wild animal I think is most underrated. I think buffaloes are the most underrated. They're so tenacious and ferocious, and also very, very protective of each other, which I find incredible. You know, sometimes people think of the big five, they just think of lions and leopards and other big animals, but I think buffaloes are pretty underrated.
Catch up with the guides daily here on WildEarth.
Good morning and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. I'm talking very softly because we've got a group of dwarf mongoose in front of us, and they do disturb quite quickly at times if you are talking either too loud or make sudden rapid movements. What you'll also notice is that there's a red-billed hornbill that's sitting very close by to them, and he's been following them as if they were disturbing insects. And they often do so, and in a mutualistic relationship, we also find that this relationship extends to yellow-billed hornbills. And I've seen yellow-billed hornbill actually doing this also in the Kalahari, following meerkats, which is one of the close relatives to a dwarf mongoose. So in Southern Africa, out of all the mongoose species, there's only 4 of them that are social. And the dwarf mongoose, being our smallest of the mongoose species, is one of those 4 social species. And in this case, we also find that the group is led by an alpha male and female, and the alpha female in this case is also 30% larger than the others. That's very few species of animals where I know that we have a matriarchal society, and that also includes elephants. Let's see what they're going to get up to. They also tend to be very, very curious. Actually, when it comes to these little predators, they're also incredibly effective little hunters. And I've actually once or twice seen them taking small little mammals together, and that means little mice. And in the past also, where I watched 4 of them actually pulling a bat out from underneath a log and killing it and devouring it. I reckon they're as effective as the African wild dogs that we saw this morning. One of the things that we'll also notice with them is that they move around within a territory, and what they will do is they try and move through their territory on approximately 27-day average. And the reason why is that's the duration of what their scent lasts. And if they don't demarcate their territory by means of scent, that will tell other groups of dwarf mongoose that the area is not occupied, and then they will try and take that territory over. There's a little trick that I was taught by my trackers many years ago. If you do want to get the attention of a dwarf mongoose, you can just imitate a call that sounds something like this. Let's see if it works. We've got quite a wide range of different calls that indicate different things, but this seems to be one of the contact calls that they use, and already 2 of them is coming a little bit closer. Let's see where they get up to. When it comes to imitating calls of animals, I do believe that it's fair game if you can attract animals such as a wild dog or a lion or a dwarf mongoose by imitating the call. However, you should never be using electronic methods actually of calling up animals. And you also should be doing it very, very sparingly when you are going to imitate the calls, as you don't want to upset the animals and alter their behavior in any other manner. A few years ago, we actually noticed a guy that was playing a call of a lion from his vehicle on his mobile phone, and that infuriated the 2 big male lions that were moving down the road, and they thought that there was an intruder in their territory and that the intruder was inside their vehicle. So you have to really, really be careful with doing things like that, as it's not fair on the animal either. When it also comes to playing calls for birds, as a bird guide, we were taught to also use calls very sparingly. We also were taught to play them very soft. And in general, when we do play those calls, we will play them roughly at 20-second intervals. And after the 3rd attempt of playing it, we stop playing. It either means that the bird is not going to respond or the bird is not there. Quite often we find that birders tend to overplay in areas, which leads to the birds no longer responding to that call either. A few other important things when it does come to using electronic methods of calling up birds, it's also not to do it in a breeding season and when they are close to nest, as this can often break up a pair or that's busy nesting in that area, or force the male to move off. And the reason why we play those calls incredibly soft is that male can think that it's a much more dominant and more intimidating male that's calling. Something else that we were also taught in terms of call-ups when it comes to birds is when you are playing specifically for owls, you always start off with your small owls and then progressively move up towards your larger owl species, which you can find in that area. And the reason is the smaller owls often are predated on by the larger owls, and that will be intimidated by the sounds of that more dominant and larger owl species. But for me, I personally prefer to imitate bird calls myself and rather see if I can call them out. Sometimes what I will do also is, if I can't imitate that specific species, I'll simply use the calls of a pearl-spotted owlet. And by imitating the owl, you also mainly see that there's a number of birds that will come and investigate to see what is going on. I also will use some general alarm calls, which sounds like something like and that also. Good afternoon and welcome to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment we're looking at a wasp that has just caught a bee in midair, and now we're watching it as it's going to slowly start eating it. We're also going to just want to watch if it's actually going to eat it or if it's actually going to lay an egg inside it and then deposit it somewhere else. And we often do find that a lot of wasp species will actually lay their eggs in live hosts which they've paralyzed. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. We're just going to try and zoom back onto that wasp before it disappears because it's such a fascinating thing that's happening over here. So now we're wondering, do we have parasitism that's taking place or actually a normal form of predation that's taking place? When it does come to bees and wasps, they're actually very closely related to one another. They belong into the same order, so let's see what they get up to. One of the things that I do find quite interesting is that many of the wasp species will actually parasitize other wasps and their eggs and larvae. And in that case, we refer to them as hyperparasitoids. But we also find that they will go for caterpillars as well as spiders. And one of the large spider hunting wasps that we do find around here often go for incredibly large spiders such as baboon spiders. And I've actually seen them in the past dragging them out of a hole after that they've actually paralyzed them with their sting and then dragging them several hundred meters to a hole that has been already created where they will dump them in and then leave them there. And then that live host will start being food provision for the larvae of that wasp that then from there on will develop. Some species of wasp also has very sensitive receptors on the feet, and they actually can detect vibrations underneath the wood, and they specifically go for wood-boring beetles. And what I do find fascinating with those species is that they can actually push the other positive through that piece of bark into that wood borer larvae and then lay the egg inside it. Another thing that I do find particularly fascinating about them is that certain plant species have learned to actually evolve a strategy where they utilize wasps actually to get rid of caterpillars. And what these plants do is that they will actually create a scent of that specific species of caterpillar when those caterpillars start attacking them, and then automatically large numbers of these wasps will be attracted to a plant to come and deal with these caterpillars. However, in most cases, caterpillars feeding on a plant is not always a negative association. We also see that quite often they form a large amount of waste directly underneath a plant, which is referred to as frass, and that gets washed back into the soil and gets reutilized again by the plant.
Can you hear them? In comes the hoodie, in comes the hoodie, incoming. Oh, what a landing. The hoodie waits until all the white backs are gone and comes in. Look at that. Hoodie are the smallest, that's why. The lines are on Sydney's wall, so we will try and give you a view, but naturally it's not our property. We don't traverse Buffelshoek anymore. Very sad. Those were some of my happiest days at WildEarth, traversing Buffelshoek. There are some happy hyenas running around, I'll tell you. I actually mentioned this the other day on Live Drive. It's been a while since I've had a sighting of frenzy at a carcass. I didn't catch that name, I'm afraid, but breakfast for everyone, even the lions, absolutely. And that's why these guys are so incredible. They just clean everything up, along with the hyenas. Clean it right up. Are there any Ngala on this side, or are they all at the dam?
The last one finished.
Okay.
Now by the dam. Sorry for that. There you go.
Yeah, we don't go that side anymore, but we can view from the cut line. Is it the Talamatis? Okay. We never used to get signal here, so this is a winner. Thank you, guys. Okay, it is the Talamatis after all. They're on the dam wall, so we will turn around, but I just thought this was incredible to see the hyenas and the vultures and just the activity that happens. It's amazing. Did anyone get an idea on that other hyena? Kaika was one of them. Amazing. Okay, we'll try and maneuver to get the lions before the end of show. Let's do this, OD. Oh, look at that. All but nothing. My goodness.
So I've just arrived at Treehouse Dam.
Look at that. It's amazing. Wow. Hey.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Live.
Oh, that's cool.
Just in there.
And the black mamba's going up the tree and the mongoose is attacking it.
She's gonna pounce again.
Sure, you can all agree with me. It's not a bad start to our Wednesday morning.
Something that I have never seen before in my entire life that you are now watching live.
Look at that. It's just beautiful. Fantastic display by a little herd of springbuck.
How is this view?
My heart is in my mouth, everybody.
Amazing, they've locked their tusks together. You can hear the cracking branches.
It is so incredible to spend this time so close to an African penguin, and it's completely unfazed by my presence whatsoever.
How insane is that animal?
Amazing.
Hey.
Awesome.
It is fantastic to watch.
Now we've got a tug of war between mom and daughter, look.
I'm just at a loss for words. That's just incredible to see that.
How long has it been since Ribbon initially took the matriarch role?
Ribbon took over in 2019 November.
So 2 years.
Or was it 2020? It was 19. So she's been the matriarch for 2 years, guys. Something is really going on now. Gingarika's come right next to the car. She almost ran to the car to lie here. Look at this. Scratching her head. It's almost as if she feels a little bit of comfort in the car. And I can't explain what's happening here. Corky's up to no good. They've all got blood on their face. All of them. Even Intima. Sorry, Owen, I'm putting... Let's just look at Intima's ears here, because I don't think it's blood from a kill. They've either all had some sort of altercation with other hyenas, or there's a massive internal dispute going on. And when I saw them yesterday, I didn't want to think that. I didn't want to think there was anything going on, but Intima is not acting like Intima, everybody. We have just been sitting here watching Corks dominate Intima. How can that be? Oh, Corks, you're not looking so bonny. You're not a bonny wee lass anymore. Oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's watch. Corky's acting very dominant, guys. That tail has barely been down. And Angela, I'm really not sure. I don't want to speculate at this stage, but I do feel something has happened. Yesterday, I thought it was an internal dispute over possibly food. I mean, they were all just sleeping at Twin Dams, but no, this behavior. I don't quite know what to think. And Tima's got blood, Corky's got blood, Heart's also got blood, and Heart doesn't seem to be bothering about anything, really. She's just gone to sleep next to Gingy. But Tima's the one that I had. What is going on, girl? She looks skinny. I think she may have lost in Tambu, everyone. But we don't know that yet. We don't know that. I'm really quite shocked by this sighting, everyone. I think Julie is as well. I really can't believe what is actually going on. This is all stemming from Corky. Corks, are you causing trouble, girl? I was there for the matriarchal takeover. It happened in camp. Did you know that, Julie?
No, I did not.
It happened meters from my bedroom, and we were all in bed. I've never seen so many colleagues of mine in their pajamas and their underpants run out because it sounded like someone was being murdered. And it was the most horrible night in camp. Owen, were you there?
Yeah.
You were there. Everyone came down. James Henry's in his underpants. Everyone's in their pajamas. Jamie Patterson in her pajamas. And we really thought that someone was being murdered. Yeah. And no one died that night. Or no hyena went missing that night, should I say. So it wasn't a case of someone being... It was noises like that, but screaming. Lots of blood. So many hyenas running around camp in the dark. We couldn't see. It was intense. She's coming. Corks, girl. Corks, tell me what's going on. I mean, these injuries on the face, they'll heal. Her elbow's not looking great, but Corks has had an injury on her elbow, I think, that keeps opening up, but it's in Tima, and Tima's acting very, very submissive. Well, I'm really not sure. I would like to think not, but naturally there was, I believe, a situation at Pridelands, and it all depends on the situation. It all depends on people's behaviour and how they are actually, not people's, individuals' behaviour and how they are acting to whatever is going on. It also depends on what happens to Ribbon. I'm not saying anything has happened to Ribbon, everyone. I really don't want to speculate. I want to go back on this footage and really really thick. You know, if you slow-mo, you can really look at who's dominant at that moment. I mean, I think it's clear that Corky is dominating in Djuma for some reason. So my question now is Ribbon. We've seen June. June is chill. June's been sunbathing and going to the spa every single day. So what's happened with Ribbon? I haven't seen her in a few days. And for her cubs at this stage, Momo, I don't know. But I've not seen Corky act like this since 2018, 2019. I love Corks, and she's had it tough. And this is the anniversary, just I think 2 days ago, of Darkmane attacking her. 3 years. She's not had it easy. She's an absolute survivor. And the thing with the hyenas, I love them all. Ribbon and Djuma, Heart, June, Corks, love them all. I couldn't possibly ever sort of choose between them, but they've got to settle their disputes, I guess. And something is going on. I've never seen a Djuma act this submissive in a while. Her mum's a matriarch, after all. Corky just won't settle. Heart's gone to sleep, Gingy's gone to sleep, and Djuma's also resting. But Corky just, oh, okay. Now we're going to settle. So she's chosen to settle over here, Odie, next to Heart and Gingy. And that's interesting. And Djuma's on her own. But they're still together, if that makes sense. So if a Pride of Lions were to come, they would form a unit together. They're a clan. They would, you know, fight off the lions together. But between these individuals, you've got a close relationship here between Heart and Corky forming, or has already been formed. And Gingy's obviously going to be with her mum. And then you've got Djuma on her own here that screams every time Corky comes near. Everyone's got blood. And it doesn't look like blood from a kill. Oh, I can't wait to hear what you all think of this, especially you, Michael Fleetwood, and you, Chris Rogue. Can't wait to hear your interpretations. But I think at this stage, let's not try to speculate too much. Let's try to observe. I've been seeing June a lot with Sutu and Novella. So what is going on with Ribbon? Victor, very intense. Actually, the vocalizations from Djuma were slightly horrifying.
They were. It made me feel
uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. She was scared.
She was scared.
Yes.
And this is the thing. We always get asked, would a hyena kill another hyena? They are the clan, but they've got to establish they've got to sort it out between themselves. And Corky here, she's not hurting Djuma, but she's acting dominant over Djuma, and Djuma's bowing down at this stage. If Djuma was to challenge her, then a fight may happen and it could get really aggressive. It could sort of result in death. But we get asked this question a lot, and I think it's quite fascinating that as long as everyone just adheres to what's going on, sticks to their rank. But Corks, you're looking you're looking haggard, is what we would say in Scotland. I don't know if that is a word used elsewhere, but we would say haggard. And isn't it amazing? I brought my Djuma clan family tree with me today. I've been forgetting it. And they're just lying on Gowrie Main. I mean, we're on Gowrie Main right now, which is obviously not ideal in terms of traffic. Vehicles are going to come by, you guys. I know many of you love hyenas. I do speak to Chris and Michael a lot about hyenas, but I know many of you love them. And I think at this stage we'll just have to... But we did watch Ribbon assert herself over June the other day at the den. I think that was a handful of days ago. Ribbon was in the den, the huge, and June came. There seems to be a nice bond between them right now, Ribbon and June. And June stood over her to initiate a greeting ceremony, but Ribbon 100% asserted herself over June, and that was just a handful of days ago. Heart's just chilled. I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's happening at Ribbon's at the day. And But please don't worry, everyone. We will figure it out. It sometimes takes time, and we will get to the bottom of it. It takes a lot of observations, and that's why sometimes you just have to sit. You just have to watch. Otherwise...
Okay, so I think what we might do, there's a little darter that just popped up in front of the hip.
Good morning and welcome to And Beyond Ngala. So finally, we've had a bit of luck this morning. Just a little bit of loving. And I think what we are hearing is the interaction between the herds when they meet.
Look how submissive that little one's being.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala.
Talk about a true definition of a golden sunset. That's what I think that is.
Cape Nature is the chief custodian of the Western Cape of South Africa's natural environment. This highly successful organization strives to conserve the province's natural heritage to ensure a sustainable future. Besides nurturing nature, Cape Nature offers an authentic ecotourism experience to local and international visitors. And one of these experiences is walking amongst the penguins at Stony Point, or as we know it, Penguin Beach. WildEarth broadcasts live from here every day and is very privileged to be partnered with Cape Nature, who have focused their conservation efforts here. If you want to visit these iconic black and white African penguins for yourself, then head over to our website to find out more. Cape Nature. Conserve, explore, experience.
Oh, what are you doing? Are you trying out for the ballet? Now it's an itchy bottom. Up we get. Mom's coming.
Running Pridelands at the moment, we're watching a mixed group of animals busy grazing as well as browsing, and they include both impala, kudu as well as zebra. And it's not often that we get the opportunity to actually view kudu from the vehicle, as they tend to be quite skittish and move away from the vehicles very quickly. At the moment, it does appear as if this kudu is actually feeding grass, but it's actually not. It's actually going for a small amount of shrubs, as if they're actually browsers, which means that they feed on leaf material, unlike the zebra and the impala, which feeds mostly at grass. In the case of impala, they can also fix over to leaf material in the later parts of here when there's no sufficient grasses around, or when the grasses aren't as palatable as they are at the moment. Occasionally I have actually seen zebra also taking leaf material, but it's maybe once or twice in a 22-year career as a guide that I've actually seen this behavior. It was only in times of drought when there was absolutely nothing else to eat that I have seen them doing so. Come back to the kudu, the one that we have in front of us. This is a female, and as you notice, you'll see that they actually have no horns compared to the males. And this is typical of woodland antelope species, where the females lack horns because horns actually do get in the way. Also in the case of kudu, baboons that are unhappy about something. I'm not sure what that's up to. You can just see how all of the animals changed in their behavior when they suddenly noticed the baboons alarming in the distance. That's most likely more a dispute between two big males that were running down the road rather than that of a predator that might be disturbing them. Coming back to the kudu, we'll also notice typically of woodland antelope species is that they've got incredibly big ears. And when you do operate in thick wooded areas, you must be able to actually detect your potential threat by means of hearing, as sight is quite limited in these environments. So in South Africa, we only have one species of kudu, and this is known as the greater kudu. That's also our second heaviest of antelope species when it comes to the bulls. And they can gain weights of approximately 316 kilograms. Also the antelope species with the longest horns, even if it does appear that species such as Gemsbok have longer horns, although they're straight, it doesn't take in consideration the length of the kull of the horns have in kudu. Now, if I remember, the record of kudus is just over almost close to 1.8 meters now in length for a kudu horn. In general, we also find in some areas where kudu becomes persecuted that they become very secretive and they only become active at night. Good morning, Daniel. I don't often see kudu in association with zebra and impala. It's more often we'll find actually that zebra, impala and wildebeest will feed in association. And most likely it's an open area. There is a number of shrubs that they can feed on, which they are feeding on, and at the same time they're just enjoying the safety in numbers which these other animals are providing by having more eyes, less chance that it's going to be you that's going to be more individuals in the group, less chance for you going to be taken, and more eyes to spot a potential predator. There's got a few more kudus that are now coming out of the bush, moving towards us as well. That's all females. Within the next few months, normally from late April, May, we'll start actually noticing that the kudu bulls start developing incredibly thick necks, and they'll very soon start fighting one another for access to females. And quite often they become very complacent when they are in the rutting period from May right through to April, May to August. And it's sometimes that they're so focused on females that they don't really notice what's going on around them, and they often end up running into trouble. In one of the areas where I worked, there was a group of lions which we referred to as the mountain pride, and they often used to take kudu bulls down at that specific part of the year, as they were way more alert than the females were. One of the things that always fascinates me about kudu is how they can so effectively use the ability to freeze and just blend into the environment and disappear within seconds.
Not right now. Wow, look at that! Jeffrey, I got your comment just on time. Look at this! You're right, Jeffrey. You're saying don't stop. Yesterday, I made a great last-minute find, and look. Wowza. You do not often see marabou storks here. Yes, we have them, but they're not common. And here, we've got one right on top of a dead tree. Amazing. You see them a lot in the Mara, and when I was in Ethiopia, we were in a town called Hawasha, and there are so many marabou storks that they have actually got specific areas marked off for the storks, and they've also got zebra crossings. I don't want to call it a pedestrian crossing because the pedestrians are the storks. They've literally designed special crossings in the road just for the storks, and the storks walk across the crossing. They make the cars stop just like people to get to the other side. It's amazing. Anyway, wowza, this is a very cool find. One of the best photos I ever took, one of the best sightings I ever had of a marabou stork was in the Masai Mara. And it was a kill made by, I think, the Salt Licks. I'm pretty sure it was the Salt Lake Pride. And the North Clan got it naturally, and all the scavengers were present. Marabou stork, jackal, and lappet-faced vultures, and they were all having an absolute hilarious time together. The jackal was just trying to bite the marabou stork's wing to annoy it. The lappet-face was waiting until the jackal was annoying the stork, and none of them were paying attention to swoop in, and I'm sure some of you will remember it. It was on a live drive. It was hilarious. Owen loves dad jokes. I've got a dad joke for you, Owen. Do you want to hear it? Dr. Rocky Balboa, thank you. It's a very nice find. I love them. So, Owen, why do storks stand on one leg? If they didn't, they would fall over. I'm not sure how authentic Owen's laugh was there. I think he's just putting it on for me. But anyway, that was terrible. I'm embarrassed.
What about my flat earth one from yesterday? Tell them that one.
Huh?
Tell them the flat earth one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so...
You need to speak louder for the microphone to pick you up.
70% of the earth is covered by water and it's not carbonated. Therefore, the earth is flat.